For years, audiences laughed with him, admired his charm, and celebrated his effortless ability to make comedy feel natural. But what many don't realize is that Robert Cummings wasn't just another funny man from Hollywood's golden age. He was a pioneer who helped shape the way television comedy looks and feels today. His story isn't only about laughter and lighthearted roles, it's about resilience, reinvention, and a legacy that has lasted far longer than most of his contemporaries could ever imagine. And once you discover the truth behind his journey, you'll understand why his name still matters. Robert Cummings was born in Joplin, Missouri in 1910, far from the glitz of Hollywood. What set him apart wasn't just talent, but determination. Long before he became a household name, Cummings chased acting opportunities with a persistence that bordered on obsession. He studied drama, perfected his craft, and wasn't afraid to adapt. By the time he broke into film in the 1930s, he was already standing out not as a brooding leading man like so many others, but as someone who could balance wit with warmth. That rare quality made him instantly likable, and Hollywood noticed. Cummings' career soared through the 1940s and 1950s, where he shined in both film and television. His performances in movies like Saboteur and King's Row showcased his dramatic abilities. But it was comedy that truly cemented his place in history. Unlike many stars who leaned on slapstick or exaggerated antics, Cummings specialized in what critics would later call the art of light comedy. He had a way of making humor feel effortless, as if it flowed directly from his personality. His timing charm and relatability resonated with audiences in a way that made him unforgettable. But what truly set Robert Cummings apart was his leap into television at a time when many big-screen stars saw it as a downgrade. In 1955, he debuted The Bob Cummings Show, also known as Love That Bob. The series was groundbreaking. Cummings played a bachelor photographer navigating work, romance, and family in a format that blended situational comedy with a leading man's charisma. It wasn't just funny, it was fresh, modern, and daring for its time. The show became a massive hit, influencing sitcoms for decades to come. It pioneered the balance of humor and character-driven storytelling that shows like Friends and Seinfeld would later perfect. Behind the camera, Cummings wasn't just an actor cashing a paycheck, he was actively shaping the series. He worked closely with writers and producers, ensuring that the comedy stayed sharp but never mean-spirited. Audiences connected with his warmth, and critics praised his versatility. Even today, scholars of television history often point to The Bob Cummings Show as a key stepping stone in the evolution of sitcoms. Without Cummings, the path of TV comedy might have looked very different. Yet his story wasn't without struggles. Cummings faced personal challenges, from health issues to shifting industry trends that left many of his peers behind. But unlike others who faded quietly, he found ways to adapt. He appeared in guest roles on television, returned to the stage, and continued working well into later life. His determination kept his career alive long after many thought his era had ended. Robert Cummings passed away in 1990, but his influence didn't end there. His comedic style, gentle, intelligent, and filled with humanity, lives on in every sitcom that prioritizes wit over slapstick and character depth over cheap laughs. Fans who revisit his work often describe it as timeless, proof that true comedy never really ages. Today, when we look back at the legends of Hollywood comedy, Robert Cummings' name deserves to be spoken with the same reverence as those who came after him. He wasn't just a star of his time, he was a bridge between old Hollywood charm and modern television humor. His legacy isn't measured only in laughs, but in the way he helped shape an entire genre. And that's the lasting truth about Robert Cummings. He was more than just an actor. He was a trailblazer, a craftsman, and a man whose influence on comedy remains as strong today as it was when the cameras first started rolling.